Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here today. We're taking a look at Mana, Decentraland. Before we do, we're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin, kind of see what's going on there, because it's definitely recovered a little bit. Right now, we're not out of the woods yet. We haven't officially made higher highs, but we're on the right track, right? We had this strong test of 53,500 earlier today with a large amount of volume right around 53,800, kind of reaffirming that support at 54. And I sent out an update to my community, so just so you guys understand if you didn't read that, just simply put, we're right on track. We should be back in business. Again, this is very likely. There's a decent chance we might have some kind of correction from this last recent candle. Keep that in mind. We're not out of the woods yet, but it looks much better, much more promising. We're back above 56,000. That candlestick was able to close over 56 on the 1 day. All good things. The next major milestone is to obviously track or kind of get past 60,000, 61,000. That's where, again, the most amount of volume and all the resistances are, specifically between 60 and 61. That's when we consider Bitcoin to be officially bullish. For right now, though, we'll go ahead and take the wins as we get them, right? So we'll go ahead and celebrate the small stuff because this is the first time we've had this kind of recovery in a little while, and it's nice to see that. And obviously, if you've dollar cost averaged like I recommended, you'd be happy too because everything's much higher than it was previously. All right, so all well and good. Taking a look here at Mana. And just before we do, keep in mind I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes. Just also note that I love teaching and I like helping people become better traders. So I've got a trading community for that design purpose. CryptoCache Premium, link in the description below. Check that out. See if you want to consider that. I have open enrollment December 1st moving forward here, and obviously some new slots available. So keep that in mind. Now, when we look at Mana here, we looked at it yesterday. Obviously, this is kind of one of my daily drivers, so to speak, because I got a large amount of requests on this, KuCoin and a few other sandbox as well, where I need to make sure to keep an eye on it closely so we can continue to take profits and maximize our benefit. We've taken plenty of profits from Mana in the past, but for right now, if we look at it, we can see that we had a strong recovery yesterday, which again, yesterday just closed 8 minutes ago. So that candlestick is nice and fresh. And ultimately, we're looking pretty good here for Mana. And you can see it's testing a key level resistance here, right? What is it? Fibonacci of 0.786, which is $5.20. I'm rounding up a little bit. 520 appears to be a major resistance. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 days in a row, we've seen it close just below that level. So that's a major resistance. What's going to happen likely is when the price comes above and it's able to close above, more specifically on the 1 day candlestick, then we're going to be able to consider Mana to break to the upside. Okay, so that's a strong possibility. So just note there's a resistance channel between 520 and 586. Okay. Now take a look at RSI. We're kind of just trending right at 70. So that's perfect in a way. The main reason why it's perfect is because the more often you test a resistance, the more likely it is to break. You can see that resistance here. I've already explained 520 is a strong resistance. That is effectively 70 on the RSI. Looking at the MACD convergence as well, you can see we have nothing but bullish sentiment. It's pretty much been the same scenario for Mana for some time. We're probably going to see that for a little bit more, for quite a while, actually, based on the 1 day candlesticks being kind of slower moving averages. We don't need to worry about that for the moment. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. 50-day sub-moving average worked like a charm. You can see 1, 2, 3. Three of the last 6 candlesticks on the 4 hour chart, so essentially half of a full trading day, got tested and kept above, held above. So that was a major support level here for us, which is great because that'll just slowly continue to progress upwards to eventually squeeze the price up into this upper level. It'll probably go up there beforehand, but just letting you know, I would say the next 1 or 2 days, we're going to see that key level resistance get broken, and we'll see some pretty awesome things moving forward. Also note, we got a bounce off of 50 on the RSI, which is excellent news as well. That kind of reaffirms that support level on the 50-day moving average, and you can kind of see that it's working its way up as well. So all good things here. We do also have a MACD convergence that just occurred roughly about 1 candlestick ago. So obviously it's this guy here. So that's a good sign to go along when you see that. Bear in mind, that has a lot to do with Bitcoin recovering over 5% in just a very short amount of time. I think we got almost, 5% increase in 4 hours, somewhere in that range. It's pretty significant, all things considered. So that's a big deal for Mana and much other coins. So let's take a look at the 1 hour and see what the Ishimoku cloud is telling us. All right, so we got all good signs here. Basically, 3 strong buy signals. Price above the cloud, check number 1. MACD convergence, check number 2. Double rainbow, right? MACD plus Ishimoku equals double rainbow. And of course, we've got the conversion line, this guy right here, above the baseline. And of course, the lagging span is lagging quite far over. So ultimately, you can consider this a strong buy signal, and we can look to likely take significant profit up to about 13% as probably a pretty easy task. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't tank to 50,000 tomorrow, we should be in very, very good shape to see that. All right, let's see where we're at on the TD sequential though, because this will tell us a lot how much longer we have left. Awesome, perfect. So we're exactly right where we want to be. So we're right at a 5 on TD sequential. So we have about 4 to 8 hours left of bullish momentum, and that could likely push us all the way up to where we need to go. Because you can see in the past here how well Mana can do when it goes on a run and it breaks through certain planes. Now the major resistance here again at 519 is a big deal, but if we can break above that, we should be in good shape. So honestly, I don't see any bearish indications at all for Mana. I see only bullish indications that we should consider taking a long position to the upside. Again, it's a nice, cool 10, 13%, somewhere in that range to the all-time high. And if we go with the best case scenario here, again, keep in mind this is a liberal estimate, but best case scenario for this coin in roughly about, this is 2 weeks of trading approximately, just under. So roughly 2 weeks of trading, Mana has increased 116% from $2.70 to a high of $5.86. So if we want to get that same amount of growth, that same kind of potential, plus a little bit, we're looking at somewhere in the range of $9.03, so $9.03 to $9.90 as the likelihood of between the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now, granted, if Mana can break that all-time high and close above on the one-day candlestick, it's gonna take off, right? Right now, the only thing holding it back is the resistance channel of 520 upwards of 586. We can break that plane, we'll be in really good shape. It's only about 13% from the top, and once we start making all-time highs, I think Mana is going to do some really cool stuff. So I am extremely bullish on Mana, both short-term and long-term. I think there's no reason not to want to consider adding to your position, dollar cost average, long position, short position, whatever you want. Not short, of course. You're not trying to short it, but short in duration, right? You could probably still get a pretty decent amount of profit in a small amount of time here with this guy. So I think it's a good likelihood to consider. And also bear in mind too, just if you're curious about support levels, you can see a very strong support level right around $4.28. In other words, Bitcoin came as low as 53,500 and it couldn't pass the plane of $4.28. So if you're going to consider a stop loss just below that level would be adequate. That would be somewhere in the range of about a 17, 18, maybe just say roughly 20% stop loss, because you're going to have a strong risk to risk ratio, right? Because again, you're looking at somewhere in the range of 13% here, plus an extra 50. So somewhere in the range of about 60 to 70% profit on a risk of somewhere in the range of 20%. That is a 3-to-1. That is a very healthy in consideration. All right. Anyway, so I pretty much just told you what I'm planning to do. What are you going to do? Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be happy to see you on the flip side. We're going to just go ahead and tune in again tomorrow, as per usual. Keep a close eye on Mana. Thanks so much for your time here today. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.